the next pose in the same image, a couple things are going to change. One of them, of course, more importantly, is the light. So right now, the previous shot was rim-lit a little bit. There was a nice little dark shadow down his back. It wasn't too much, but it's exactly what I'm looking for. Further exiting the plane, of course, we're going to have a lot more wraparound light. So I'm going to wind up taking this V-flat here, and I'm just going to move it up a little bit more side to him, and I'm going to open it up a little bit more because I don't want to have that dark stripe down his back anymore. I just want soft wraparound light that's going to be in the environment. More importantly, the thing that really changes in this shot is the engineering of how we can tip his body. So at first we were anchoring him by his shoulders when we were trying to get him to lean forward, but this time we want him more horizontal. We're going to try to kick his feet up. So we had to actually change the rigging to his hips, and we had to shorten the rope a little bit so we have him standing on an apple box so that he can basically kick his feet out and safely be able to get his feet down without hurting himself or causing any relative uncomfort. So the other thing that's going to happen with this, also on top of that, is in the image itself, the subject is going to be further away, going to be smaller, going to be slightly more compressed, and also going to be lower. So not only do we have to worry about the lighting and his pose, and of course the science behind like getting him to angle properly, I have to get taller, so I'm going to shoot from a ladder. I'm going to angle myself up, and it's going to take a couple shots, I think, to get it totally right, exactly where I want it. But I'm so excited for this. I'm super excited for this shot. So right now I'm just going to adjust my lighting. My lighting modifier set up on the left here is totally what I'm looking for. It's wrapping around exactly what I want. The one on the right is a little bit too closed off and too far forward, and I want to make sure that I'm getting that nice even distribution of light wrapping around him. So first things first, we're going to shove this lighting modifier on the right a little bit further towards me, and we're going to open it up a little bit more. We're going to see, before we even get him jumping, we're going to see what that's doing to the back of his outfit. Do you mind grabbing this V-flat? So I'm just going to pull this guy up here to right about here. I'm definitely just kind of guessing. I'm taking a look and I'm going, well, I want to make sure that I don't create tons of shadow right here on the side of his face. Fortunately, this is an environment that there's going to be some bounce. This isn't like a black sheet, so it's not going to absorb all the light, but it is going to absorb some of it. So I'm just going to pull this in a little bit, because I don't want to waste the energy of the light bouncing off into the wall or the background. It doesn't do me any good there. So I want to control it a little bit, but not too far. So just going to analyze this here, point this in. I'm going to keep the settings the same. Like I said, the lighting on this isn't the most complicated, but I do think this is going to be a really compelling image when we're done. And that's the part that's really interesting to me. So I'm just pulling this in here because I want to make sure that I'm not going to get a ton of flare. I'm not shooting with the 16-35 anymore, so flare is less of a problem, but that doesn't mean it's going to completely disappear. So now that I'm on my screen capture, I actually don't want to see, I'm on capture 1 again. I don't want to see the background that I have, the overlay. That's not my interest right now. I want to study the light. So I'm going to angle this and see where possibly I want to shoot this from. I'm definitely too low right now. I know I need to get higher, but I basically am just looking at the back of the outfit. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have definitely got too much shadow going on. It would not look like that. I'm going to pull this in a little bit closer. And this is a scenario where possibly I'm going to have to bring in a third light just for a little bit of fill over here or over here. We're just going to see if we can get what we need with the 2 first and work with it from there. Alrighty, 1, 2, and 3. Can I get you to lean forward just a little bit without, like, just lean for me? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I know with him standing the way he is, that isn't how he's actually going to be shot. His pose is going to be very different. But I still want to make sure that I've got all that fill where I want it to be before I start making him really uncomfortable. So I'm still going to wrap this around a little bit further. I'm still getting a little too much shadow, but I still know that really at the end of the day, my main concern is going to be the shadow that's going to happen on the back of his feet when he goes horizontal. Do. Might even pull this out. Let's see how we're looking. Alrighty, 1, 2, and 3. Better. That's looking a lot better. Okay, so right now the light, I'm really liking the way it looks. I'm not going to know exactly if it's totally what I need until I actually get him into position, but this is going to be a lot of effort on his part, so I want to make sure I have this as close as possible. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up on the ladder, probably a little bit further back, a little bit higher up, and we're going to see if I can get kind of roughly the angle that I'm looking for closely with the overlay on so that I can see exactly what's going on. So I'm just going to turn on that overlay in Capture One. Okay, so I'm going to grab this ladder, hop this up a little higher, wrap that around my wrist because I don't want to drop anything. 1, 2, and 3. Now, I like to shoot my subject as close to the size that it's going to be in camera as possible. We do have limitations here, of course, that I can't go back 300 feet. So I'm using a 40mm lens. Seems to be working just fine. He's going to be a little bit big, so I am going to have to make him smaller. But it's basically choosing which limitations you have. So in this case here, my limitation is distance. So this is starting to look pretty good. I like it. He's going to be definitely too big, but that's all right. I can actually scale this background here, and I can see what's going on. So now he's a lot closer to the size that I want him to be, and so now we can start getting him into position. John, thank you for suffering. Alrighty, and let me see here. Okay, so whenever you're ready, 1, 2, and 3. Good. Try it again, just hold for a sec. Let's see how we're looking. Looks pretty good. One second here. Lighting looks nice. The nice thing about using these lights is that we have really fast recycle time, so I can probably get 2 or 3 shots off really quickly so that if we wind up missing it, or I have more chance of getting what I need when something's in motion. Also, it's less effort for him. Your knees are good, they're just off 90, so I'll try to catch that a little bit higher when we can.